They're all stuck together. It's nasty and gooey. Like, look at it. It started taking the shape of the worm. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bee Fishing. I've got one that just gets annoying to me. This video is going to be on a subject that I see a lot that really annoys me, because it's like people don't read their bait like bags, they don't read the labels. And what I'm talking about is Z-Man products, the Elastec products. Everybody on the internet always gets on there and goes, man, this stuff just melts at such a low temperature. Like it was in my tackle box in my car in the middle of winter, and I live in Canada, and I don't know how it melted. It didn't actually melt from the heat, ding dong. And that's what annoys me the most about getting on the internet, and it bothers me because I hate when people are ignorant and wrong. So we're gonna set the record straight. We're actually gonna do something that I don't know that's been done on YouTube. I'm gonna set up a time lapse in my garage looking at Z-Man products by themselves as the control, mixed in with some culprit soft plastics, just a soft plastic black worm to go with our white crawls that we're gonna be testing. Then I'm also gonna put them in a plastic storage box, like a storage tray. And we're gonna time lapse it, and we're gonna watch and see what happens. Now this environment is pretty cold. It's February in Alabama, so I mean, it's not exactly the coldest. I mean, it's not like we got ice on the ground, but the highs each day are like mid 50s. Enough so that it will not melt plastic. If you actually want to melt an actual plastisol plastic, you're gonna need to get it up close to 300 degrees. Somewhere around 200, it starts getting a little gooey. I digress. Let's get into the video. Let's go. Alright, so this is going to be pretty simple. I'm going to set you up on a GoPro. I'm going to have it where it takes a picture every 30 seconds. I'm going to run it for however many days, and we're going to watch this plastic decompose when it's next to other stuff. The big reason is it's right on the back of the label. See that red right there? Everybody see that? In red, it says, do not store Elastec with any other kinds of plastic baits or conventional plastic storage boxes. To avoid reactions with foreign substances, we recommend storing Elastec in its original packaging or in a Z-Man branded storage box. It's got to be a certain type of plastic, because a lot of people think that this is made of some sort of plastisol like other soft plastics are. It's just got some crazy stuff in it that makes it super elasticy, which is Elastec. No, it has no plastisol, no phosphates, and no PVC. This is not your ordinary soft plastic. That's why they call it Elastec. It's not really like a soft plastic like in the traditional sense. So don't store it as such, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. Everybody following me? Let's get to the time lapse. This is probably going to be a short video. I just want to set the record straight. It is not melting due to heat. It's melting due to a chemical reaction of touching other plastics. Capiche? Let's go. Alright, so GoPro's going. It is on time lapse, so it will take a picture every 30 seconds. We've got our control, we've got our mixed with other soft plastics, and we have it in a container, a plastic container. So we're gonna watch that melt, decompose over the next day or so, and then we'll talk about it and talk about why this is. So it has been about 2 weeks. My shop is absolutely in disarray. I stopped filming this after a week because honestly, there really wasn't much to see, as y'all probably saw by now. But there were some changes that took place. Not that you could see immediately on the time lapse, like it's not gonna dissolve like it's, you know, in a microwave being heated up. But we did see some changes. I'll show those to you real quick. So here's what my shop looks like now. I mean, I've been making baits over here. I've been, you know, getting orders in from Shop Carl's stuff, getting everything in order for the Bassmaster Classic that's coming up. But let's take a look at these guys. So they're obviously in the tray, and I've got the two that I had sitting out over here as my control that we really did nothing with. So let me explain what's happened here. Now, on the label, they say do not store in really anything but a Z-Man approved container, or keep it in the original packaging. Now, the reason they say that is because of foreign contaminants. And what they really mean is if you have had any worms in your plastic before, and the worm oil and the plastic, you know, it just sort of, it leaves like a little bit of a film, and then you put your Z-Man stuff in there, it will mess it up because of the chemical reaction. There's a chemical reaction when these two get together. So like, look, this was a brand new tray. There's nothing there. These things are completely fine. They've been in there for 2 weeks, right? So I'm not saying that you can just grab any plastic tray off the shelf and it's going to be completely fine. For the most part, if it is a brand new, never been used with any other type of worm, never had any other bait in it, and it's completely clean, you're probably going to be fine. However, I would still recommend just keeping it in the original packaging. But let's take a look at the ones that were with the worms. So here's what happens. The Elastec, or even like the stretchy stuff by 10,000 Fish, like the Sakoshi bug, it like sucks the oil in different materials out of the plastic. So look at this. They're all stuck together. Like they're literally, in the plastic, the Z-Man stuff, it's harder. It just doesn't feel the same. It's not as soft. But it literally, like, look at it. It started taking the shape of the worm. Like, it's not that it has a, see, there, look at that. It's actually got a U right there from the worm that it was sitting on. It starts to take the shape of what it was touching. And the area it was touching on these worms is just stiff as a board. That right there does not want to bend. Look at that. That tail, it doesn't want to bend. It wants to stay straight. And look at the goo. Look at all the goo. It's just so good. It's like it just drains the oil and the liquid out of the plastisol and dries it out. Like the chemical reaction just sucks all of it out. It's ridiculous. Yeah, that claw is real. It's still stretchy, but it's hard. It's just, it's nasty and gooey, and just look at all that. All that is worm oil. It's worm oil that was put in the plastisol, and now it's just, it just sucks it up. It's like it can't help it. It's like a sponge, and it ruins both the worm and the craw. And your plastic, it's just super hard to get that oil out of there, out of the plastic tray. So bottom line, it has absolutely nothing to do with temperature. Yes, Z-Man products do melt at a lower temperature. Like I was saying earlier, a normal worm, a normal plastisol based worm will melt at like 200, 250. You'll start getting a little, you know, gooky. Those, they have to reach, I don't know, just under 200. I mean, it's 150, just under 200. So if you leave it in a super hot car, yeah, it may melt, but they're based out of like the Carolinas, and they keep them in a warehouse that's right around 100 degrees all year, and they don't melt. So I'm just saying, it has nothing to do with heat and everything to do with don't put it near regular soft plastics. Best bet, leave it in the package it came in. You don't have to have a tray with all your soft plastics. Just keep the bag it came in. I am a firm believer in the Z-Man products. I also like the new 10,000 Fish, the Sakoshi bugs by Ketchco. It's basically kind of the same deal. Super stretchy, super durable, and I mean just lasts all day with one bait. I mean, they're more expensive, sure, but you get your money's worth because it's going to last all day. Just unless you store it with you know, normal soft plastics, and then it's not going to last at all. Like, it's just going to turn into, like, I've got to clean my workbench off now. Like, was a bad move taking it out of there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. This was a very short one. This is one that I get tired of seeing comments about people complaining that the melting temperature is so low, and it was in their car for just a couple of days and it got warm. If you heat them up, like let's say you put it in a 100-degree car, that reaction happens faster, but it's just a chemical reaction. Nothing else to it. It's not like literally melting from heat, just a chemical reaction. It is all science. A lot of this fishing stuff is science, whether you want to believe it or not. It's a lot of science. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you could, please hit the like button. Leave a comment down below on your worst experience with Z-Man plastic. Have you ever made that mistake before and you put a worm and a Z-Man worm together and just had absolute destruction of a tackle box? And as always, hit the red subscribe button, turn it gray, hit the ding dong notifications if you want to be notified anytime I drop a new video. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. Later.